Good afternoon, respected faculty members, respected resource person for today, Mr. Suraj Bhatgaonkar, dear participants, and last but not the least, members of Team IIC. The topic for today is based on business canvas model, which deals with business innovation, and that is when an organization introduces new processes or services or products to affect positive changes in business. The ultimate aim of which is to reinvigorate a business, creating new value and boosting the economic growth of not only the enterprise but the nation as a whole. With these few tips or with these few ideas about business canvas model, I, Dr. Preeti Pandit, wholeheartedly welcome you all for today's session on business canvas model. I request Ma'am Deepa Odi, who is the president of Team IIC, to introduce the resource person for today, Mr. Suraj Bhatgaonkar. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Preeti. Respected faculty members and my dear students, a very good afternoon to you all. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the guest speaker for the national level workshop titled Business Canvas Model, Mr. Suraj Bhatgaonkar, who is the director at Filamantra Opto Controls Private Limited, based in Margao and Panji. Mr. Suraj Bhatgaonkar holds a bachelor's degree in pharmaceutical sciences from Goa College of Pharmacy and also a master's degree in business administration from Goa University. Mr. Bhatgaonkar has worked in the production sector at Cipla Pharmaceuticals and Sanofi Aventis situated at Verna, and also in the sales department at Tulip Diagnostics, Bambolim. Since 2011, Mr. Bhatgaonkar has established his own startup in the lighting industry, the Filamantra enterprise, under the leadership of Mr. Suraj Bhatgaonkar, presently caters to provide lighting and smart control solution to architects and interior designers, with a mission of not to leave the people in dark and offer artistic solutions pleasing to eye and the wallet. Without further delay, I request Mr. Suraj Bhatgaonkar to kindly take over the session. Thank you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Am I audible? I hope I'm audible. Yes.
Yes. Yes, you're audible.
Thank you. Firstly, thank you to Dhempe College, Team IIC, students, and the faculty for giving me a chance to speak in front of about 30 people. There'll be more people who will want to join. Uh, I've done a small presentation for you guys. Let me run through that. Are we on the same page? Is it presenting?
Yeah, Suraj, we can see.
Yes, fine. All right. So, not sure of what is coming your way, right? Just make sure that you guys write your questions. Topic for today is business all canvas. My name is Suraj Bhatgaonkar, and let me begin. This is a picture of part from my studio, an old studio which I had. I'm sure everybody can see the lights, the artifacts kept over here. This was the first step we took to do the niche marketing, or rather increase the value proposition of our business. If you see this slide properly, there are components which are increasing the value of one another. The light is increasing the value of the crystal, or the bottle, or the vase, or the mugs, and vice versa. So your questions today are going to be adding a lot of value to me and one another who is present over here. Together we would be able to increase each other's knowledge, and that is the first thing of increasing the value of any session or a product. Alright, to begin with, the most important, the most spoken or the cliched analysis, but I cannot start my presentation without this. It is called as the SWOT analysis. It is the strengths, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. This SWOT analysis is for oneself. This currently what I'm discussing right now is not about your product, not about your company. It is for your own self. That could be your knowledge which you have gained. That could be the degrees what you have accumulated over the years. That becomes a strength. Your weakness might be your financial status, your family status, the problems which you face at home. You've got to note these things. There could be n number of opportunities. Noting them out is what is the first step we take before plunging into something new. And threats. Who did think that 2020 is going to be this way, 2019 is going to be this way? Nobody thought about these threats. But there are other threats in business, or there are threats for oneself which we have to take care, probably a medical condition. So getting into a new situation, first thing is do a SWOT analysis. Then sit down and make a business plan. The business plan is the most important thing for anybody. Before starting the lighting industry, I am also a very avid uh, chef. I want to cook. I like to sing. I had n number of things in my head. But does your hobby turn to be a business plan? Does it lead to profitability? Is something which we need to know. I wanted to start a pizza shop, but I did not know to make pizzas. Why did I? Then I sat down and started doing a business plan. I said there are n number of people who are coming. Next to me there was Domino's, there's Pizza Hut in Margao. Who would come to eat my pizza? That's the time I realized that I need to do something which is not available right now in Margao. That is not available in good places for your niche clients, for your A plus architects. You need to do a business plan. That's how I identified that we have to do good, essential, high commodity lighting. So if you see, there is SWOT mentioned over here. But again, this is one more important slide. This is called as the pest analysis. I'm sure many people know about this. This is the political, economical, technological, and the social things which you need to analyze. Politics. Today there is one government. Tomorrow there would be another government. Are you a supporter of this government? Are you a supporter of that government in business? You can't afford to do that. So you need to know the political status. You need to know your strengths, that I'm going to be doing business over here. I cannot align myself to anything over here. Today it might be this, tomorrow there might be a different rule which is passed out. For example, so many people lost out on businesses during the CRZ. There were so many people who had planned to have big five-star hotels around the hills in Vagator. So you have to think about these things. The economy, you might have inflation. Petrol prices today are 88 rupees. All these things have to be considered when you are starting the business. Technological, there might be advancements. You need to cope up with the technological advancements. You need to adhere to the new things. You cannot say I can't use the smartphone, I cannot use the laptop. You need to adapt in this fast moving world. And the society, how many of us in fact thought that we would not be going to each other's place? Aren't we keeping the distance from each other? There's a lot of things which has happened due to the COVID-19. People have been away from each other. How would you do the business then? These things, the pest becomes another most important thing after your SWOT. Now I come back to SWOT. This is a plan which you need to discuss over a coffee with your closest friend or yourself. Just find the right time, sit across and do the SWOT of the business plan. This is not for yourself. Now you need to identify over here how a business model or a business plan is going to be profitable. The entire thing about doing business is, of course, profitability without compromising on the core values which you have imbibed, without compromising on the values and the ethics which may, if you do not follow, may hamper you in the run. So you need to have a SWOT analysis, sitting down and talking about this business model, the costing of the product. The first thing is you have to identify the product, right? The product becomes the most important thing for you. For example, if you want to have a garage to be made, if you like to work with cars, if you like to work with high-end cars, you want to make a garage. You have an excellent assist, you have an excellent mechanic with you. But if you go to open a garage, the society doesn't allow to start a garage because of noise. So this is why I said West becomes very important. This is why I said when you sit across and discuss, okay, fine, I need to have a co-working space. I've got an excellent idea to open a co-working space. But if I open it over there, will there be sufficient parking for the people over there? Am I opening it at a proper place? These things, you when you sit with a pen and paper and discuss with your closest buddies or your parents or elderly, I'm telling you this thing throughout out of experience. Speak out your business plans, speak out your work, speak out your professional life with the elderly people in the house. They might have not seen the technological advancements, but they have seen, as we say, we've seen a lot of rains, they've seen a lot of seasons, they have come across very far. They'll give you that one tip which was essential. So discuss these things with your parents, discuss this thing with your closest friends. Core value, I'll highlight on this point, core value, because many people talk about diversification today. Diversification is an excellent thing, but if you compromise on your core value, diversification will lead you nowhere. You will be landing your feet on two different uh, tiles or two different places, and you will be lost at the end of it. So please focus on the core value. If you think you can make a good cup of chai and sell it, make that good cup of chai. That becomes your, and then add the other things to it, rather than completely closing down on your core value and compromising on the quality of the chai. Steps for strong key business model. Identify your specific audience. As I said, niche. Are you going for a mass product? Are you going for a niche product? Are you going for volumes, or are you going for are you going for the amount? Are you going for the product which is there nowhere, going for monopoly? You have to identify that specific audience first. Establish business processes. You have to sit and write a process. Like in my firm, what I do is I do not do the invoicing on daily basis, because that takes a lot of your time of staff, and then there is a complete chaos, in complete chaos which happens in the office. So what we do is we do invoicing on particular days, Wednesdays and Saturdays. This is a business process. You identify that this is a bottleneck for me to function, and that is the way I, you know make my processes. Record the key business resources. Now, the key business resources may not just be some high-end terms. It could be a simple logistic guy who comes and delivers you things. Record him. Okay, fine. This guy is good. Okay, this guy can be also. I can take him in my on my payroll. Okay, this when you go to have a cup of chai somewhere, you see, okay, fine. This boy is selling well. Can I ask him to join me for some things? You got to keep your eyes, ears open for all these things. Develop a strong value proposition. As I said, entire thing is on value proposition. If I go to this slide, without this, my showroom had no look. I had to do this niche so that I increase the value. When customer came in, okay, he saw a high end bottle of whiskey, or he saw a high end bottle of high end glasses, and he said, okay, fine, this guy is dealing into stuff which has value. This guy is creating a good, he's giving us a good product. Determine the key business partners. Again, as I said, there might be logistic partners, there might be people who are helping you with digital marketing. Determine those people. There might be people, who will be supplying to you on regular basis. They can in future can be an ally, and we can be a good business partner for you. These two things which I've marked, these things frankly do not happen on a daily basis. Create a demand generation strategy and leave room for innovation. If you are an entrepreneur, trust me, for 2 to 3 years, you will not get time to do these things. And I have learned this the hard way. If you do not do this, you do not survive. You need to do these things. And that's probably the reason why we come and speak to this forums wherein we tell people that what we have missed out doing, and rather think what we have been doing. If you can counter these things in the first three, you create a demand generation strategy. Once you realize that you are selling your product, once you realize the product is being sold on a good numbers, it is not certain that it will happen. There might be competition. So how do you keep creating that demand generation strategy? By introducing perhaps something which is not there in the market, by going to Bombay, by traveling to other places and understanding, okay, fine, what's the market trend? This is going to be coming back to Goa in the next 3-4 months. Okay, this kind of a light has been used over there, which is still not in the market. Let me see a supplier and get it first. So these things are very important when we do that. Leave room for innovation. The most important thing, I mean, today's generation is good with with these things, but at times we lack in innovation because of the complacency, or even because of the fast life. But need to innovate it. Probably a website very quickly. The most mundane thing is doing a website, but it's the most important thing. We do not find time for that. How do people get a customized feel towards a website? Okay, fine, I can give them a system wherein they can go and check, okay, this how would this light look good over here. But trust me, the things marked in red will add a lot of profitability to your company. Now, business model versus a business plan. Business model is basically a single diagram of your business. You have everything written down. A business plan, again, you have everything written down, but nobody reads it. Trust me, we've gone to investors in the beginning. Nobody's interested about what you're going to be doing, what are your who are your suppliers. They are only interested in how much would you give me if I invest about X, how much would you multiply it and give it to me. So this quote, document investors make you right that they don't read, is by Steve Blank. Steve Blank is from Silicon Valley. I found it very interesting because at times we emphasize on a lot of theory, but back of the mind I have is we have to perform, and we have to all, you know, come to terms with only increasing the profitability without again compromising on ethics and the moral. Coming to the BMC, the business model canvas. It's a business tool usually for small business owners. It begins, all businesses majorly begin small. When you're an entrepreneur, the kind of profit what you want is just to make. In fact, you cannot say profit. You want to break even basically. The amount of money which you put is just to break even. So the business model is kind of, to start the business, including the customer, the route to market, increasing the value proposition, and the finance. These are the questions which come to anybody's mind when they start a business, right? Customer segments. Who are the customers? I cannot sell you know kind a laptop to somebody who is working, who has a piggery. There are a lot of piggeries coming. There are a lot of poultry guys coming into the market. But I cannot say, so you take out 10 laptops. I need to identify what I can sell to that guy. Value propositions. Again, I've been talking about value propositions for a long time. What's compelling the person to buy your product? Why should the customer even think about your product when there are other, products? The channels, customer relationship, how do you interact with the customer through their journey, the revenue streams, how does the business earn revenue from the value proposition? That is very important. This line over here, revenue stream, is the most important. This is how your business will work. You have to identify this. The key activities, again, these are strategic things which you need to sit and jot down. The key resources, again, as I said, key resources does not mean somebody who is highly educated. It could be the simplest clerk or the peon who says, okay, I can be with you for 10 years, I can be with you 15 years. He becomes the most important person for you, because you know that at the end of the day, you don't have to look at things which are mundane. You don't have to think about deliveries. You don't have to think about paying those bills. He does this for you. You have to understand these key partnerships. Yes, again, the key partnership definitely does mean to expand, but always look at things around you first, strengthen them, and then go for an expansion. The cost structure, revenue would not be much if you do not look at this cost structure. The cost structure is by far another critical thing which we neglect. We say, okay, fine, we want to renovate, we want to move to this place, we want to, how much will be the costing? Have we considered that? Would that reflect in your profit and balance account? These things are the blocks of the BMC. Let's take the most common example, the most used app of 2019-20, and I don't know for how long we're going to be using this, is Netflix. I wanted to illustrate all those things which I said over here through the to the most common illustration, that's Netflix. Check the key partners out here. The key partners for Netflix is consumer electronics, cable companies, and the broadcasters and the producers, of course. See the customers, these are us who have not slept for uh, a long time during lockdown. We slept at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock watching the movies. The customer relationship, they always recommended according to your choice. They knew, and usually like artificial intelligence was used to tell you about, okay, fine, this series might be good for you, or watch Spartacus, or watch um, the episode called She. Everything was recommended according to your choices. Any device, the channels, any device, Netflix app, how friendly it was to just download Netflix and watch everything. The value proposition, watch on demand whenever you want, wherever you want, download, take it along when you're traveling. Cost structure for them would be the technological development which they're spending on. Currently they are fighting, they are in kind of a battle about the King Kong movie with HBO. So these are legal costs which they have to bear up. All these things come up. uh, Again, the key resources, the Netflix platform and the movie portfolio, and the revenue streams, definitely the subscriptions. First they give you that 1 month package, then you're hooked onto it, and that's how probably the system should work. So I thought Netflix would be the best example wherein everybody would relate to a business canvas, model canvas. Now, coming to the most important elements in planning your business, uh, I have noted this slide because I found it very interesting, because I have worked with the traditional business plan wherein I chalked out it on a piece of paper, wherein I had a lot of numbers. I said, okay, I travel to places to identify the suppliers, the resources. This is the amount of expense I would have to have a showroom. I would talk to people, what are the products. I relied on the words and the numbers. Uh, Necessary to get significant funding. Again, as I said, I went to a lot of investors just to have that good kind of a showroom. I can have a normal showroom, right? I can have a normal electrical shop, but that it becomes doesn't give me the competition, the competence, right? Doesn't give me that edge. uh, the how to build your business, there might be certain tips. As I said, somebody would give you those tips. There might be certain business guides which help you to build a business. I had to look at the business. Hello.
Hello, Mr. Suraj. Sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt you. Just wanted to ask you that is the first slide is visible to all of us. So, um, so we we did not see the previous slides, but which slide are you on currently?
Oh, you all could not view the previous slides.
No, all this while it was just the first slide that was on. No problem. Could you please project the current slide on which you are?
Just tell me if this.
Please
Uh,
go on the slideshow, no?
yeah, I'm on the slideshow itself.
I see, but it was not visible then.
Is it visible now?
No, not yet.
It's only the first slide, Suraj, that is visible. The yellow one.
How is that possible? I am on slideshow actually.
So
Yes.
that is a problem with Google Meet platform only. Nowadays we are experiencing it. So if you do present entire screen, that will help for it actually, I think.
Yeah,
Stop
I'm doing.
presenting and do present entire screen.
Okay, fine. I wish somebody had told me this thing
Stop
before.
presenting and select present entire screen.
You're presenting to. Is anything visible right now?
Not
No,
yet.
sir.
Suraj, so there are options below. Raise hand, turn on
Yeah,
caption, present now. So in present now, you can present your entire screen. That's the first option.
No, I'm on present screen. I'm on the present now. I've taken that only, and I'm right now sharing the entire
The
screen with you.
entire screen.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
sharing the entire screen with you.
So then you have to
okay.
pin the other screen.
Sorry.
You have to pin. You have to go to the people and then pin the other screen.
On the presentation after you're sharing the display console.
Hello. Hello. Hi.
Yeah. Yeah, Suraj.
PPT is visible.
Not yet, Suraj.
I've got a message saying that you're audible and the PPT is visible. That was at
It was
2:34.
Yeah, it was at the beginning. That time the first slide was visible.
Yeah, but then, yeah, one second. One the entire. I'm sharing the entire screen with you guys. It's still not visible. Hello.
Yeah. Could you click on the presentation?
I am on
And
the presentation.
okay. On the Google
I,
Meet platform, did you press on present now, entire screen?
yes,
Right.
I am on the Google screen where I have pressed share your entire screen.
Okay. And did this sharing? That is I am doing now. I wanted to. I can't show him.
So can you do it again? It is not done.
Can you see now?
I cannot see the screen.
Yeah, it is coming now, Suraj.
It's coming. Share to everybody. Is it coming? Hello.
Yes, now it is visible.
Is it visible to
Yes.
everybody?
Yes.
Okay,
Not.
then I'm gonna be quickly running through it again. Then, not much.
Yes, we can see the screen now.
Yes, we can see the screen now. You can continue with the presentation. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Is it visible right now? Right. I'll just quickly run through this. Right, because we've got about 30 minutes more.
Okay, Suraj. Continue.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So as I said, I'll just run through this quickly. As I said, the entire thing is about, if you remember, about adding value to each other. This is the most important thing then, because what is happening over here is what we did in the showroom was we did kind of a niche, we did kind of a segment over here, wherein we said, okay, the glass is not what we are selling, we're selling lights, but how do we increase the value of the glass? We just keep good amount of things, good amount of artifacts that increase the value of light. So where you see there is a crystal, we kept a white light. Where there's a whiskey bottle, we kept a yellow light. That's how we increase the value proposition of each other. As I said, SWOT, This SWOT was for oneself. This SWOT was not for the company. This is when you sit together and you analyze your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and the threats. Strength, as I said, would be knowledge. Weaknesses would be your financial capability. Opportunity would be the n number of opportunities out of which you'll have to jot down one. And threats would definitely be probably your health or some restrictions. Business plan. As I said, this is very important for you to sit across and write down your business plan. As you see on top is SWOT. As I said, uh, when you sit and do a business plan, you got to have everything laid down. That would be a mission. What kind of a team would you have? How many people would you employ? Which market do you want to get into? And what's your goal at the end of it? I would not bore you again with the pest analysis, but this is what pest analysis would. This is a slide how it would look like: the political, economical, technological, and the society. Uh, becomes very important. As I said, you cannot in business be aligned to a particular political group. You have to be neutral. Whatever happens in this era or this part, this term of a group would not happen otherwise. So you need to adapt accordingly. Economically, there could be inflations. There could be, as I said, for us right now, if we're going to deliver something, we've got to think about, okay, fine, how do we align the deliveries properly. This what is basically for the company, the business plan which you make. You've got to sit and discuss this over coffee, that how are you going to be sitting, and how are you going to doing the business in the long run. Because if you do not understand what opportunities your business gives you, what threats are there from, like, for us, the 6 months of no business was the biggest threat even to do business today. Like, should we call in for a lot of material and take it when we heard that there's going to be a second lockdown, or probably there are going to be things in Bombay? Should we keep the material with us? What if the market doesn't work out? I'm going to be sitting on a load of invoices to be cleared. So these decisions are very important. So when you start a business also, you got to do it. SWOT is basically like servicing your car. It's like servicing your engine. You have to do it periodically, because today the weaknesses might turn out to be, you might have conquered and become your strength, but there might be new ones lurking around. Business model, as I said, the core value, the competencies. Our competencies and core values are the two important C's. The core value is something which we never compromise on. However, how much you want to diversify. As I said, if you make that good chai, you want to sell it, you need to make sure that you make that one cup of chai well. But if you're changing, adding things into your business, then you need to add it wisely. So again, sitting and making a business model is also very important. We all do it in business. We sit with it. We just not say that, okay, fine, we need to sit and start a business. No, it doesn't happen. There's a lot of thinking which goes around. Steps for the strong key business model, as I said, this was discussed. I'm sorry for not presenting to you these things properly, because probably missed out because of the technical glitch. But this is a very important stride. And if you see what is written in red, create demand generation strategy, this becomes the most important things which we neglect, which I neglected for 2 3 years. And that's exactly our point. When we come and go for such forums, we talk about we talk about things what we have missed out doing. Do not miss out on a demand generation strategy. To if you know this product is going to be doing good, that might be obsolete in few months or a few years. Have an alternate ready for it. Go think about what's there in the market, the new things, travel and find out what could be the new thing for the market. As I said, this slide, business model versus the business plan. This slide to the right is the quote is by Steve Blank. He's from Silicon Valley. The documents investors make you to write, they don't read. Or at times we get into the jargons. We want to write a lot of stuff, but and want to present it. But people, trust me, look at only profitability if you're going to any investors. A business model is a single diagram of a business. The most important topics for today was the business model canvas. This like what are the things. When you start a business, you're normally small, you want to break even, you want to make those small little profits. How do you do that? These are the questions which I asked myself. When we say customer segments, who are the customers, what is the value? And let me explain this slide through the Netflix slide, which this is a slide, the illustration which I thought would be a very important illustration in terms of what we have burnt our midnight oil over the last 1.5 years. Is something, this is the most highly profitable thing for the company. COVID has turned out for them, because before that I'm sure not many used to be hooked up on Netflix, but word of mouth spread. And if you see these illustrations, see the key partners, the key activities, the value propositions, the customer relationship. This is how they build the customer relationship. They give the artificial intelligence recommendations. If you've been watching one series, there will be another one popping out at the end of the screen, at the bottom of the screen. What customer segments they identified? Okay, fine. This platform is for movie lovers, or series lovers. Revenue through subscriptions. Initially, 1 month will be free, and then they will give you packages. Same thing again with Spotify. Spotify came in as a free app. Now they're charging about 1,200 for a yearly uh, subscription. So this is how you sit across and do this business model canvas. This model canvas precisely means to increase your value propositions. And
Sir, sorry to disturb, sir, but again that slide. Now it has come. Slide is coming. Thank you, sir.
it's coming. Hello.
Yes, it is coming now, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fine. So again, as I said, this I believed in the traditional business plan, wherein I sat across with my pen and paper. I jotted down, made an Excel sheet, looked at numbers, collected information from the world around, went, traveled, uh, a little strong emphasis on finance. How would I, break even? How much would be the costing? All these things are the traditional ways of business plan. Business model is basically a matrix which you get. In that, there's a visual component which you can basically, if you purchase those matrices, you can basically put in your information, and definitely does helps you to make a pitch to the investors. Also looking, it helps you to look at your numbers, it helps you to look at your customer base. It basically gives you a ready-made platform to go ahead. This is excellent for brainstorming, because what happens is when you sit across and want to do a business model convex, you have the 9 point blocks which you have, the ones which I showed you. These are the 9 point blocks. When you sit across on a regular basis and you look at this, these might change with your business, right? So helps in brainstorming, and definitely helps you to get started. You get that boost, you get that confidence to get started. When I started uh, Filamantra Opto controls, basically uh, I wanted to have a lighting showroom where I would be different. I would be in a different segment. I would be in a different niche. So we started a showroom in Margao. Uh, 3 4 years we ran the showroom in Margao. The profitability is reduced because the rents went up. We never, I'll tell you this thing, because this is a thing which we skip. We have to look at where we went wrong. We have to see, okay, fine, was it profitable to buy out a space? Was it profitable? How would I increase? Of course, we made profits, but profits started going down. So I had to adapt. I had to adapt to a new place. I had to adapt to a model wherein I say, okay, fine, I'm going to be showcasing project lighting. I'm going to be showcasing. I'm not going to be doing retail lighting anymore. I need this much of a space. And today we are in Pato. After 7 years, I have reached we've taken again a space in Pato. This is the kind of thing. The work is still going on in the next uh, about a fortnight. I think we should be done with the work. This is the kind of interiors which it had turned out to be, as a projector screen where we will be doing the sound and the AV controls. Anybody who wants to come and have a look at it, Please, I have about 44 clients right now looking at me. I take it as a business opportunity here, wherein I would look at people also, saying that, okay, fine, there's a nice lighting store. If you see the top pic very closely, there is an architect next to me. If you see, there's also something called as Bliss, that is for Bliss spaces for your kitchens. So what we did was we said, okay, fine, the architect, the kitchen guy, lighting guy, sound guy, that's we come together as a cartel, operate out from the same area, and we sat across, we three, four people sat across and said, okay, fine, this could help your footfalls might help me, my footfalls might help you. This is how you increase the value proposition. This is how you try to get increase your hits. That is how you try to increase your business. Again, how important this quote is from Jack Ma for me is because uh, I really follow Jack Ma. I read, I heard his interviews, and there are small things which you can learn from the people. And I do not say that I'm going to be, people, you need to read those motivational talk about, not about, I'm not even going to be telling about reading too much, because I personally do not do that. But I go through a lot of quotes. I follow one hero. I have one business hero, that's Jack Ma, because that's how he started from small. He worked at an organization for 7 to 10 years, and then he collected that kind of information, had his resources right, and plunged into business. And that's how we all should. We should take out a leaf from everybody's book, follow a hero. And he says, if you've never tried, how you will ever know if there's any chance? So if you do not try, for the budding entrepreneurs who are coming, if you do not give that, you do not jump out of that well, the frogs which we are usually, the Susagad Goenkas which we call ourselves, if we do not come out of that zone, we are not. We are going to be in over there, and we are going to be complaining about, okay, fine, there are no jobs in the market. Oh my God, there is this, there is no employment. No, there are a lot of opportunities for us. But having said that, you cannot jump into it just because you have to. Think about it, and that is the reason we need to do the business model canvas. The BMC becomes the most important thing, because it gives you it gives you the scope to brainstorm. It gives you, okay, fine, if I'm taking the plunge, is this going to be profitable for me? I'd like to end my slide with this, and I'm sorry if I missed out on presenting the thing in the right way. I usually present it this way. I don't know what is we normally go do it through Zoom, but I don't know what went wrong. Hello, hi.
Ma'am is there. Present. Yes.
I'd like to end the presentation. I said, am I audible?
Yes, yes.
Yes, yes. Any questions? You can have a one-on-one also. We've got about 15 minutes left.
Posted in the chat.
So I request the participants to put down their questions in the chat box if they have any questions, so that I could read them out to Suraj sir, as he
Yeah,
could answer them.
I'm also in the chat box looking at the questions. If there are any, I can definitely answer it.
Yeah, so there's a question by Mr. Atish Chaudhary. Sir, how did you land your current role?
How did I land in my current role right now?
Yeah,
In my current role, right?
yeah.
So basically, as I said, uh, I'm a B Farm graduate, not by choice, by marks. Uh, then I got into marketing, and that changed the entire perspective. So I said, I worked before taking any calls. I worked for 3 years. I also did sales because I loved sales. I said, okay, fine. If not this, let me do sales in the healthcare industry. Uh, I was not sleeping well. I was not very happy when I woke up, and when I looked at Mondays, I was like, okay, fine. This doesn't work out to me. This is not pleasing me. So what do I do? So I what I did was I looked at things around, because again, loving to share, loving to cook, loving to sing is a little bit of artistic traits that we have. So I said I need something to do in terms of arts. So how do I do that? So I happened to have a call with my architect, and I asked him what is the most important thing right now Goa is lagging. So he said good lighting, and that's the reason why I said okay fine, let's get into this part of it. So before getting into the lighting part of it, I also sold switches. uh, we sold a lot of switches to architects, and that's when I realized there's a lot of market potential for things uh, which have some value for the end client. I deal with A plus architects right now, work with all the A plus hotels in Goa. That's the reason is because that's how we increase the value proposition. Yeah, there's one more question there. Atish, have I answered you properly?
Yeah, so there's a question
Yeah.
uh, by Dr. Ashish Prabhakar. I guess you have read it. Sir, can you please show business model canvas slide and explain a bit about it, as we missed the important slide?
Right. Okay. It's visible. Let me clarify that thing.
I think it's a 12th slide,
Yes.
slide
So
number 12.
that's the example. That's the example. But is this side
Okay.
slide this thing
Yes,
visible right
it's
now?
visible. The
Okay.
blocks
So
on BMC,
yeah,
yes.
the blocks in BMC are the most important things, right? The 9 blocks. Uh, if you Google or if you search the internet, these 9 things will always surface. What are those? Is the customer segments, the value propositions, channels, customer relationship, revenue streams, key activities, key resources, key partnerships, and cost structure. This will resonate over the internet, but the reason why I had this slide to it was this would be uh, the most easy way to relate out to this. Every business model has this, but none of them sit and analyze this. I also have this. I have all these things which we go through. The key partners. What are my key partners? My key partners would be the suppliers which I have, or the customers which I have. These are my key partners. How do I do the customer relationship? Through service, through giving the products on time, or through warranties. So these everything are very important. Everything whatever is here is are mundane things, but we don't sit and analyze this. So the BMC allows you to brainstorm. So basically, when you jot down these 9 things in different parts of your diary, and on a periodic basis you do these things, you come to know okay fine, I am lagging out over here. I'm not been doing the key activities for this quarter. I have not been adding value to this product. I've not been analyzing on different channels which I have. So that's what why I put out this slide is I could have spoken on the jargons which this I could have given a jargon on this, but not everybody would relate, because these are things which we easily relate.
Thank you, sir.
Right. Any more questions? I'm sorry on missing out the important thing, but I don't know how it happened. So
No, not a problem, because lack of slides compensated with the information that you gave, which was very, very valuable. And if there are no more questions, uh, then we could conclude today's session. So I request you to check the chat box link, dear participants. I have shared the link, feedback link, to you all for receiving the certificates. So kindly fill this link, and I hand over the session to Miss Monica Ghadi for proposing the vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am Priti. A very good afternoon to all. On behalf of Dhempe College of Arts and Science,
Miramar, and entire organizing committee, I feel immense pleasure to take this opportunity to propose a vote of thanks to our speaker, Mr. Suraj Bhatgaonkar, a business head, Filamantra Opto Control Private Limited, Margao, who spared the time from his busy schedule to grace this webinar with his extremely relevant address on business model canvas. I thank Principal Professor Vrinda Borkar for her constant support and gratitude for organizing this workshop. I take this opportunity to specially express my deep regards and gratitude to Mr. Deepa, President of Institution Innovation Council, for providing opportunities to organize such event. My deep sense of appreciation and thanks to all the participants who choose to be live with us and attended this webinar with great enthusiasm and made into successful event. Thank you. Have a great day ahead.
Thank you, Suraj, for visiting our Dhempe College online. Okay, and
Yeah,
it was a
thanks, ma'am.
nice session. I was listening to it. Okay, and it was really a nice thing that, and I can see so many participants also online. And
Right.
thank you a lot. Thanks a lot for
Thanks,
joining.
ma'am. Thanks. As I said, these things open up new dimensions for us. Thanks
Yes,
for inviting us. And anybody who wants to come and visit the showroom, I could, sit across and also
yes,
discuss
definitely,
things. Yes.
definitely.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank
Yeah,
you. Thank you,
thanks
guys.
a lot. Thanks.